Hey, top and the out of this world story. There are ladies and gentlemen and welcome back in Story Travel. I'm your host Manir.
My wife and I had a pretty normal marriage. No kids, both employed and really happy together. For 99% of our relationship, we didn't have any major problems, we made time for each other, so on and so forth. She recently went away with her friend for a girls' trip. The first 2 days after she came back, everything was fine, and on the third we went to dinner with this friend and her boyfriend. Dinner went well, came home and went to bed. Wife woke me up in the middle of the night crying, saying there was something she had to tell me. Long story short, she had cheated on me the entire trip, and her friend had cheated on her boyfriend as well. Apparently, the dinner together caused her to have an attack of conscience. Because she messaged my wife after I had fallen asleep, telling her that she was going to come clean to her partner, and my wife had to tell me as well, or she would. We talked, yelled, cried. I spent most of the night sick. Told me it was just a horribly stupid decision and was perfectly happy with me, which honestly makes it worse. Why risk a happy marriage for an affair? It wasn't my fault, the usual. I've been staying at my sister's place while we figure out the divorce. Before this went down, she had been scheduled for tests and scans for what we thought were relatively non-serious health problems. Turns out we were wrong, as I was just contacted last week by her cousin, telling me a scan revealed cancer. I got in touch with my wife, and we talked. She proved her diagnosis and filled me in on some details. She was understandably terrified and begged me to come back, to talk to her, hug her, give her a chance, to be there with her. I told her I wished her all the best. I'm very sorry for what she's going through and know she's strong enough to make it through, but while I'd help financially from a distance, I wasn't physically going back. They, not her, have been harassing me, telling me to man up and go to her. My own friends are split 50-50ths. I don't want to go back. Before anyone pulls the "this is probably why she cheated" card, no. We had a good marriage. We had a sit-down talk every month to discuss anything wrong. We were solid. She just chose to take a chance on a quick thrill, despite knowing cheating is a 100% deal breaker for me. She never even planned to tell me until her friend forced her. While I certainly don't think anyone deserves this, and I am sorry it happened to her, in my opinion, her diagnosis doesn't change our situation. I feel it'll be harder on both of us, with me being there, knowing I won't forgive her when it's over. It feels like prolonging the inevitable, and I feel like my obligation to her ended when she chose to betray our marriage. She has family and friends, so she isn't alone. I care about the woman I thought I married, but I no longer love who she turned out to be, so I feel it'd be unfair to both of us for me to be there. I'm not trying to punish her, my heart just isn't in it anymore. Am I the asshole? Edit. To the Reddit detectives further down. When I said we talk every month about our problems, it doesn't mean we only talk once a month in strict time slots. We talked as often as needed, but made a point at least once a month to sit with each other and check in, see how we're feeling and so on. Secondly, I mentioned she proved her diagnosis because when I was told I didn't believe it, I figured it was a ploy to get me to come over and talk because she and her family had been trying to get me to reconsider from the moment I left. I also didn't want numerous answers to be filled with that exact same speculation. As for how she cheated the entire trip, the two of them went with the purpose of meeting up with two specific people her friend knew. And I figured this would be easy to figure out, but I guess not. I knew her friend forced her to tell me because I demanded to see their messages after she told me she cheated. Finally, I know a lot of people post made-up stories. I'm not one of those people, but short of providing personal details, I can't prove it. If I wanted karma, I wouldn't be on a throwaway I posted here, because when some of your own friends are telling you that you're unreasonable, I think it's time for neutral third-party judgment, and I was hoping for valuable insight, which many people provided. To the mods, I'm sorry this post wasn't a great fit here. I'll post in the appropriate subs in the future.
There's nothing wrong with your viewpoint, OP. Definitely not the asshole. It only feels like it might be a huge regret now because of her situation. But once the dust settles, she would still be the same piece of shit she was before the diagnosis. If it was me, I wouldn't be able to look at her the same way. My feelings are gone, regardless if she has cancer or not. Some people just don't deserve your care and support, especially after what your wife did to you. She stopped being your wife the moment she wanted to fuck someone else. Regardless of how good you thought your marriage was, it's over, OP. Simply put, if she didn't have cancer, would you still care for her? Would you still give her the time of day? If the answer is no, then that's it. That's all the reason you need. She showed you that you were neither her friend or family. She didn't care about you. She didn't care how her infidelity would ruin everything. So why the hell should you? By helping her financially, you are already doing more than the bare minimum. Hell, you shouldn't be doing that too. So to the people who are saying you should man up and help her, you should cut them off your life because they can go fuck themselves. Remember, she wasn't going to say anything about her little sexcapade. She wasn't struck by her conscience. She was afraid that you would hear about it from someone else, and she thought telling you herself would seem like she was coming clean. That was her only motivation, OP. Now, for today's second story. Am I the asshole for sort of helping my friend leave his wife that cheated and the children that is not biologically his and hiding it from his wife and my girlfriend? Posted by Reddit user throwaway012347.
English is not my native language. A few weeks ago, I got a call from my friend late night asking me to meet him. Apparently, he had found out that both of his children weren't his. I was surprised, but he showed me the paternity test results, and also his wife confessed that they might not be his. He thinks he's infertile. They always had a rocky marriage. Since then, he hasn't gone back home. I and my friends are helping him with normal stuff. He is currently living at a place owned by me. He contacted a lawyer. It's seeming according to the law in our country, a father can't ask for a paternity test after marriage. But the lawyer said he could win if they could somehow prove he can't be the father without a paternity test. I think that's just lawyer speak. He is going to get a fertility test. His lawyer also plans to bring in the actual father in court. The thing is, my girlfriend is really close to his wife. She thinks we, his friends, should talk some sense into him. My girlfriend and I went to meet the wife after my friend left. She and their kids were crying. One is 6, the other is 2. She's also a stay-at-home mom. I felt really bad, but I don't know if I should get involved. My friend called his wife and said he will only talk through a lawyer. My girlfriend and the wife knows we are in contact with him, but they don't know that I am housing him. They also don't know that his lawyer contacted the biological father. I am wondering if I am a bad person for not telling them anything. My friend would be really pissed if I did. Am I the asshole? Edit. I am asking whether I'm an asshole for getting not involved. Not whether my friend is an asshole for leaving his kids. I know he sort of is, but I don't know what I would do if I had to go through this situation, so I didn't say anything to him.
Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. And if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to Story Travel to never miss a future upload. Please inclusion.